Hi, I wanted to get on here to do a follow-up video of the one I did in September 2018 regarding a Border Patrol agent who was arrested for murdering numerous women. I'm also going to showcase some other cases that have come to light among the many I found. I will be putting up a snippet of a ride along the border fencing and wall here in the border community I live, and a preview of my next video, which is my trip to South Padre Island. The Border Patrol agent is named Juan David Ortiz. He's allegedly murdered the following: Melissa Ramirez, 29, killed on September 3rd. Claudine Ann Lora, 42, murdered on September 6th. Goseda Alicia Cantu, 35, September 14th. Humberto Janelle Ortiz, 28, September 14th. And the attempted murder of Erica Pena on 9/15. She was lucky and was able to escape with her life and go find law enforcement, and they did find him even though he tried to do a murder by cop, and they didn't allow that to happen. This is in Laredo, Texas. He has made quite a few public statements, and I will be showing you one of them he's made. He may have used his service revolver as a Border Patrol agent while he was off duty to commit these murders. He was part of the highway interdiction team intercepting vehicles suspected of trafficking drugs and humans. He was 10 years with the Border Patrol and a Navy vet from July of 2001 to May 2009. One of the statements he made: "I wanted to clean up the streets of Laredo by targeting this community of individuals who I know are disposable and no one would miss them because they have no value." He was wrong. They do have value and they were missed. He was arrested September 15th. He was indicted December, or will be have his preliminary hearing on December 15th of 2018. Currently, through his indictment and bond hearings, he's on a $2.5 million bond and still incarcerated. No date has been set for his trial, but it will be taking place in the 406th District Court. I will be following this up. Laredo's quite a ways away, so I probably won't be attending. This is a short video. If you look to the right, you'll see the fence, and there's a gate there, but I also captured the trains that go across all the time from the United States to Mexico. This one's heading to Mexico, and it has quite a bit of security around it. These are the typical fencing / walls and gates that are all over down here. This is on a main road. We call it locally Military Highway, but it's also known as US 281. And they're everywhere. Some places there are none, and some places there are. And I wanted to give you just a flavor and a feel of what they look like when you're driving down the road. US Highway 77 is to the left of this road, about north about 10 miles or so, depends on where you're going. But on the other side of this fencing is the Rio Grande River, which is where the border is between the United States and Mexico. There's a lot of land behind that fence that is farmed and people live in, and they have different ways of getting to it. It also shows a lot of greenery and palm trees and homes, different types of businesses, different type of social economic classes, and just a little part of where I live at. This isn't very far from where I live. There's a lot of traffic on this road, but we usually use it for touring. And here on the right is a Riverbend Resort, which is a golf course, and that road there goes down to a lot of really nice homes. I decided to not go down there to to cause any issues or to cause attention to myself, and also I didn't want to get blocked in on a dead-end road if I was confronted for some reason, because I was by myself. I have hours of videos just documenting the changes that have been happening recently and continue to happen. The 5,000 or so military people just got good news. At least half of them did, or half of them are going home on the 15th. The other half are having to stay here until at least January 31st. We still have over 2,000 National Guard troops here in the valley who are helping with Border Patrol security, and alongside all of the local agencies, county and federal agencies. So there's a lot of law enforcement down here. I have not done any First Amendment audits with the federals because I don't have a backup camera person at this time, but I do have backups. So for those who are in law enforcement watching, is I do take precautions, and safety issues are on the utmost of my agenda. This is some of the foliage and greenery in November, and now it's December and it's still pretty much the same. We have very, very mild winters. It's subtropical, and that's one of the benefits of living down here. The economic part, the cost of living is very low, but also the wages correspond. There are some higher paying jobs, and the economy is getting better and better, but it's very interdependent on the border and on trade with Mexico and the traffic that goes across. So that's why everybody's so intricately involved in what's going on with the border, because if it's shut down, money goes out of people's pockets and people lose jobs. So we're just keeping an eye out and talking among ourselves and getting information. This is the next victim. It is Griselda Hernandez. She was 27, and Dominique Alexander Hernandez, 1 year. Border Patrol Agent Ronald Anthony Burgess Aviles on April 9th, 2018 in Laredo has been indicted for capital murder charges. She was his lover. The young boy was their son together. They've been going through a custody battle. She had custody and he didn't, and there was some court hearings being done on it. Border Patrol agent actually hails from Puerto Rico, but he worked his way up in the Border Patrol and had a supervisory position. He was arrested on April of 2018 and indicted on June of 2018. The DA states the evidence shows planning, calculation, deceptions, attempted deceiving, and tampering with evidence at the crime scene. It does show that the defendant utilized not only his training and expertise, but his knowledge of the area and his knowledge of the circumstances existing on that day, per the DA. The Border Patrol agent was the one that called in, finding a dead body and potentially a second body around. And when the other agents got there, he was acting weird, and after a while it finally came out that he did know them, and none of the agents knew that he knew this woman and his son. The DA said the investigators show that the Border Patrol agent reported finding a body at 11:10 on April 9th. The call was the only radio transmission the Border Patrol agent had made throughout the 5-hour period since he first reported for duty. This is highly out of the norm, especially for someone in a supervisory role. Sensors used by ZBP have been removed recently near the park where the bodies were found. Border Patrol agent was aware of this. However, DA could not recall whether the bodies were found at the scene free or just very close to it. Border Patrol agents did testify at the preliminary hearing as responding to the scene, and that Border Patrol agent was acting strange and contaminating the crime scene. They said that Burgess never told them he knew the slain woman. This Border Patrol agent, Burgess Aviles, was denied bond and will remain in the Webb County Jail until the outcome of his case is decided by a jury. A court date has been set for June 10th of 2019. It has not got a lot of public, or I should say mainstream media attention, and many times when these murders do occur, it's just on there for a minute or a couple minutes, maybe a couple days. When the trial comes closer, might get some more information, and I will keep looking as best as I can. This murder was egregious. They were stabbed, they were bludgeoned with a blunt force instrument, and half buried in the sand or the dirt, and he tried to play it off, or the Border Patrol tried to play it off as he just came on the crime scene, and when in fact he played a major role in part of the crime scene. That's the allegations that are being set against him. And again, his trial isn't until June 10th, 2019, and he's been denied bond. It's very, very highly emotional for both families. The next one, this is kind of interesting. Claudia Gomez Gonzalez, age 19, was murdered May 23rd of 2018 in Rio Bravo, Texas, about a third of a mile from the border. Initially, the Border Patrol made a statement, came out saying that it had been use of fatal force on Claudia, and the reason that the agent did it was because they'd been throwing rocks at him, and he feared for his life, so he had to use, fatal force on her. And but there had been videos that had been taken of the incident, and also eyewitnesses who testified. So the Border Patrol came out with a second statement, said, according to the BP agent, the group ignored his verbal commands and instead rushed him, so he needed to use deadly force to protect himself and others. So it's kind of interesting how the story changes once somebody produces eyewitnesses and actual videotapes of the incidents. Claudia was traveling with 3 companions at the time, and they were detained and currently await deportation, and their whereabouts are unknown. I could not find any more information. The Border Patrol did an internal investigation and declared it justified, but apparently the FBI did not agree, and they have now launched their own investigation. I could not even find the name of the Border Patrol agent who shot the fatal shots into this young lady that caused her to die. So, of course, it's hard to track down information if they don't want you to find it, but I will keep looking and trying to find more information. She came up here trying to find a job and further her education, and was traveling with other people, and her body has since been taken back to Mexico for burial, and there have been quite a few candlelight vigils up there at Rio Bravo in her honor, and we hope that whatever happens, that justice is served and the truth comes out. And I'm not saying that all Border Patrols are bad, just like all cops or all teachers or all mothers, but we need to call out and hold accountable the bad apples, and be transparent about it, and let everybody know what's happening or not happening. Many times these type of cases nobody ever hears about again, except unless you live down here currently. There's a lot of things that happen that I just take for granted everybody knows about through living in the valley, and I'm finding out the more people I talk to that they haven't heard about a lot of this information. So I am just sharing the information. I'm trying to be as factual and knowledgeable as I can be without bogging the story down, and I'm trying to stay as unbiased as I possibly can be. I am a human being. This does affect me, but it's the best I can do for now. This is my first narrative of a video and editing, so please, if you would like to, leave comments, and if there's something I can do better or differently or easier, let me know. Just stay respectful and with your comments, and no hate speech or anything like that, because those will be deleted. And apparently, hopefully, Claudia and her family can find some justice and some peace into this tragedy that has happened. And I will follow up and let you all know as soon as I know. The next one coming up is Jose Antonio Elena Rodriguez, age 16. This happened a while ago on October 10th in 2012 in Nogales, Arizona. This did make the mainstream media recently, and I've been following it for a while, and some of you may have seen it. This is where this Jose was on Mexican soil. There was some apparently or allegedly unlawful activity having to do with drugs and people trying to cross a river, which is crossing the border onto American soil. While that was occurring, Border Patrol agents rushed the fence/wall, and Jose and some other people allegedly started throwing rocks. The other agents fell back. Border Patrol agent Schwartz decided to take his gun and point it between the slats of the wall and shoot across the river into Mexico, and killed Jose. He shot 16 times through the border fence. He hit Jose 10 times in the back and the head. This is one where the Border Patrol agent was arrested and indicted in September 2015. He had his first trial on April of 2018 that came as and the results were the jury acquitted him. They couldn't make up their mind. They were at an impasse, and they couldn't say guilty and they couldn't say not guilty. So he was acquitted. They took him to trial again on November 22nd of 2018 this year, and a second time the jury acquitted. And there was a lot of protesting and a lot of rumbling down here. You know, it's hard enough to get people indicted and then to go to a trial, but to twice have a jury not be able to come to some conclusion one way or another leaves a sour taste in the mouth, because we believe in the judicial system, and we were hoping for some sort of income. Since then, as of December 7th, the federal agents have decided they will not retry him a third time. And that's the end of that story. Now, I assume, if other evidence comes up or something, that there's a chance it could be brought to trial again, but the chances are highly unlikely that it will happen. But this is just one of many times that Border Patrol agents have shot Mexican citizens or citizens on Mexican soil, and not only shot them but killed them. But this is the first time that I've been able to find where one was actually brought to trial. So it's disappointing that there was not a decision made or judgment made by the jury, and that he's not going to face another trial. As the readings, or the information and readings I've had, is that he will be going back to work with Border Patrol as an agent in a supervisory position. And so perhaps this instance has changed him a bit, and things will be done differently if the same circumstances come up. But we can just give you the information and let you know this painting was drawn by a local artist, and this is posted on the American side at the approximate location that the Border Patrol agent shot through the fence. This next one, Frank Rodriguez, Policio Paz, age 28, involved Border Patrol agent Joe Luna. This happened on June of 2015 in Edinburgh, Texas, not too far from where I am. And it involves Agent Luna and two of his brothers. His two brothers owned a used tire store and repair place in Edinburgh, and Franklin worked there for him. And apparently, at some point, Franklin's estranged wife called up the brothers and said, "Hey, Franklin knows you're doing drug deals and drug buys and other illegal activity, and he's going to knock on you." Within 24 hours, he had been murdered. Apparently, they murdered him at the tire store, then moved him and decapitated him and took him down to the Gulf, and he was found in the boat channels near South Padre Island. How Border Patrol Joe Luna was involved as a brother is they decided to do searches of the homes because of the drugs and the money. And in Border Patrol agent's mother-in-law's house, they found a safe. They opened it. They found a commemorative Border Patrol agent badge, a 9-Glock, silver-plated with engraving from a drug cartel, personalized for Border Patrol agent Luna. They also found various drugs of different quantities and types that I haven't been able to find the information about that. Border Patrol agent was with Border Patrol for 6 years. He was arrested at the Border Patrol checkpoint where he worked. He was a ROTC corps in high school and went from there to the Army and took a job with the Border Patrol after being honorably discharged. He was an Iraqi war veteran. Border Patrol agent patrolled the rural area about 100 miles north of Mexico. He worked a checkpoint at Hebronville, about an hour and a half north of McAllen, patrolling the air to catch drug and human smugglers. The Border Patrol agent wasn't at the tire shop on the day of the murder. He was working at the Border Patrol checkpoint in Hebronville, and that was verified. He was arrested June 2015 at the checkpoint. He was indicted January 16th. He went to trial, and the trial finished on February 23rd, 2017. He was found guilty of convicted of engaging in organized criminal activity. He was acquitted for murder charges, but he will be serving 20 years without the possibility of appeal, and he will be sitting in there thinking about what's going on. The other two brothers, one of them turned state evidence on the Border Patrol agent, and the other brother, he got a reduced sentence, The sentence has not been given yet, but he has been found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. The third brother has not gone to trial yet, and he is going to be up on first-degree murder capital charges. So I will be following up with that. But it shows, just some of the corruption that happens within some agencies. I brought this sheet up because I wanted to figure out, who answered to whom and who could investigate and who could follow up, and I'm still confused, but it gives me some idea of where to look if I choose to do FOIA requests or other information. I hope I haven't bored you all. I've got some more data I would like to share with you. There's been many reporters and news agencies who are doing investigations, and there's the Tribune and the Center for Investigative Reporting has made some great articles, and in one of them it states at least 140 officials since 2013 were arrested or convicted for acts of corruption that allegedly compromise their mission to stop crime and keep the nation secure. And since January of 2016, there have been at least 13 employees have been arrested or corruption-related charges, and according to records through the Freedom of Information Act, 4 of those arrests were drug-related charges. One was conspiracy to distribute controlled substances and money laundering. Another was importing cocaine. There's also a breakdown of arrests of Border Patrol agents, or BPP, since 2004. 80 of them have been Border Patrol agents, 127 have been CBP agents, 52 removed or terminated of those arrested, 124 were reassigned, and the remaining indefinite suspension is temporary measures until trial. Those are just the allegations that are reported that may or may not have gone to trial, whether we've seen them or not seen them. And it's hard, just like with any other law enforcement agency, to best of my understanding, to get your fellow workers to testify or to turn evidence to try to catch the bad apples. And we just hope and encourage that, more good Border Patrol agents or CBP or any other law enforcement do the right thing and are transparent and put a stop to some of the corruption and things that are going on. Let me see, there was another statistic I wanted to share with you that just blew me away. That they have paid out a lot of money. They paid out over $9.7 million in the last 15 years. And that's just a fraction of the people that have been harmed or murdered or maimed for life. And I have a spreadsheet showing the victims. There's 98 of them. Along with the link to whether it be the media source, I should say, whether it's a web page or a newspaper article or a video or a YouTube clip. If you're interested, please email me and I'll be happy to send it to you. It's in a spreadsheet format. There's a lot. Most of the victims died from bullet wounds, including shots in the back. There were bullets were fired not only by agents conducting border enforcement, but by those of local law enforcement capacity and by agents off duty. Among the incident, one agent also died in exchange of gunfire with a family member who was found dead, and another agent was killed by friendly fire. Border agents sustained non-deadly shots in only 2 incidences in the last 15 years. So, accidents happen, friendly fire, and, walking into the wrong place at the wrong time. There have been other Border Patrol agents. They get a lot of mainstream media attention and for prolonged periods of time, but the victims, alleged victims of Border Patrol agents or CBP, don't get nearly half of the airtime. The next video I'm about to put up is I took a trip over to South Padre Island. I used my dash cam to show the back roads going over there through the small towns and some of what it looks like down here, and it's a very relaxing drive. It was, I don't know, about an hour or so. And my intention was not only to go to relax on the beach, but to do a First Amendment audit at the police department on South Padre Island, and also the Coast Guard station there, and they also have a mini blimp that they use for border security. I struck out on both of those instances. That day, they were having a Christmas parade at South Padre Island, so a lot of civilians and children, and a lot of people around, and I didn't think it would be fair to try to do a First Amendment audit at that time. I drove down to the Coast Guard, and they were closed, and there was no trespassing signs all over. The blimp wasn't up, but I will be going back to get some transparency and to do First Amendment audits, and we'll be posting them soon, and I hope that everybody hasn't gotten totally bored to death about all this information. It's just a snippet of what happens. Now, I am very careful down here, and I feel safe here. I don't take chances where there doesn't need to be any chances taken. But, you're just aware of your surroundings, and just like any place else, wrong place and wrong time. I enjoy living down here, the milder climates in the wintertime. I've gotten used to the hot summers, and I hope that everybody likes this premiere of this video. I probably crammed in a lot of information and sharing a lot of information, and I hope the live chat that is going on now that is attached to this premiere is a lively discussion and people are engaged. And just like anything else, please be and remain respectful. I believe in free speech, but this is my channel, and we need to be respectful here to ourselves and to others and what's going on. And I just wanted to end the live premiere video stream with a look at South Padre Island and the beauty and the energy and everything that happens, because this spreadsheet or arrows and everything, I haven't figured it out. I'm trying, but here's our beach, and it was a beautiful sunny day and enjoyed it immensely. This was about a week or so ago. It was in the 80s, and I decided to go further up the island where I could go there for free, because the other beach entrances, I'm pretty tight on the money right now, so I go free when I can, but I enjoy going here, and I'm going to try to go more often because it helps me to free my mind, it helps get rid of the stress, it gives me energy, It gives me hope. It helps me put things in perspective, and it's enjoyable and fun. And you know, if it's not enjoyable and you can't have fun, then you know, why do it? You know, just we all have duties and responsibilities, but we need to have fun now and again. And this is a good reminder, and that's why I took video of it, so that I can remind myself to walk the talk. And if I'm not enjoying myself, then how can I suggest that to others? And so thank you for coming by. Please like, subscribe, and sub if you want to. Leave any comments you want, but please be respectful and no hate speech or anything like that. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your weekend, and the holidays coming up. It's the little things that matter, and I appreciate everybody who's here online and everybody who I have around me in person, and I try to tell them as often as I can I love them. I love you. I appreciate you. I don't take anything for granted, and I just try to share what I can and do it safely, and wish you guys all the best, and go out there and have fun and make some happy memories, because you deserve it. Thank you.